The laughter sliced through the air like a jagged knife, each chuckle a reminder of my perceived inadequacy. It was as if every giggle and snicker was a direct jab at my self-worth, resonating harshly in the polished atmosphere of that dinner party. Melissa, with her glass raised high, wore a smirk that churned my stomach as she quipped, "Honestly, how did I end up with such a loser?" The raucous laughter that followed felt like a weight pressing down on my chest, igniting a fire of tension within me. I could feel my fists clench beneath the tablecloth, the tension radiating from my body, betraying the calm facade I tried so desperately to maintain. She thought me weak and powerless, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing just beneath the surface. Our paths first intertwined in the vibrant halls of college, where Melissa's sharp intellect and ambitious spirit captivated everyone around her. She was a beacon of brilliance, effortlessly drawing admirers like moths to a flame, and I was drawn to her light, enchanted by her confidence. I, on the other hand, was a quiet dreamer, content to remain in her shadow as I built a future that I thought we would share, a home filled with warmth and security, a life woven together with dreams and promises. Yet, somewhere along the way, the admiration she once held for me morphed into something darker, evolving into subtle jabs about my career aspirations and perceived lack of ambition. Those jabs escalated over time, becoming late nights filled with hushed phone calls and an unsettling chill that settled in our bed, enveloping me in a sense of impending doom. I clung to the belief that I was merely imagining things. The love we had built together was too strong to be shattered by doubt. But reality hit hard when the evidence became undeniable. The texts, the hotel receipts, and the crushing realization that the woman I adored had been betraying me all along. It was as if the ground had shifted beneath my feet, leaving me in a chasm of betrayal and confusion. I should have confronted her sooner, but pride and denial kept me from doing so. Instead, I found myself trapped at this dinner, a cruel setup designed to humiliate me in front of her friends and, most importantly, Mark, the man who had become a significant part of our unraveling. This humiliation was not just about infidelity. It was a twisted game for her, a way to exert dominance and control, relishing in my discomfort. I realized then that walking away quietly was no longer an option. I would ensure she regretted crossing me. In the days that followed, I adopted the role of the oblivious, defeated husband, allowing her to believe I was spiraling out of control, drinking too much and losing focus at work. But beneath this facade, I was gathering evidence with meticulous care, documenting every instance of betrayal. Bank statements, hidden accounts, and messages that revealed her true nature. The most damning discovery came when I uncovered how she had been siphoning money from our joint account into a secret fund, planning to flee with Mark, leaving me behind with nothing. It was an act of betrayal that not only shattered my trust, but ignited a fire of determination within me. My feelings of rage morphed into a cold, calculated resolve. I decided to take control of my life, starting with consulting a lawyer to understand my rights and options. I meticulously laid out my strategy, mapping out every move I needed to make to ensure that Melissa could no longer manipulate me. The next step was to freeze our joint accounts, ensuring she couldn't touch another cent before I could act. Finally, I set about ensuring that her affair would not remain a secret. I discreetly planted evidence where it would do the most damage, sharing screenshots with Mark's unsuspecting wife, who was eager for the gossip. The fallout was swift, leading to a public scandal that obliterated his reputation and forced Melissa to believe that it was merely a stroke of bad luck. The climax of my plan unfolded at one of her carefully curated dinner parties, where she paraded around, draping herself over Mark as if she owned the evening. The atmosphere was thick with the laughter and chatter of her friends, and she was the star of the show until I stood up, tapped my glass to gain attention, and announced, "I have something to share." My voice was steady, but the dismissive glance she cast in my direction was all too clear. She had no intention of acknowledging me, her arrogance palpable. With calm determination, I revealed the envelope in my hand, stating, "As of tomorrow, Melissa and I will no longer be married." A hush fell over the room as I slid the divorce papers onto the table, the atmosphere shifting from joviality to shock. I continued, "I know about the affair, the money you tried to steal, and the job offer in LA you thought you could take once you left me." The color drained from her face, and the guests exchanged incredulous glances, the tension thickening in the air. Mark's wife leaned in, her interest piqued, urging me to go on. "You called me a loser in front of all these people," I continued, leaning closer, my voice low and steady. "But you overlooked one crucial detail." I locked eyes with Melissa, my voice unwavering. "I was never the fool in this marriage. You were." In that moment, her expression shifted from disbelief to desperation as she lunged for the divorce papers, her hands trembling as she stammered, "That's not possible." "The accounts are frozen," I replied coolly. "Everything in my name stays in my name. The money you attempted to take is gone." I gestured toward Mark's wife, who stood up, holding her phone with an air of triumph. "Oh, I think she has something to share." With a tap, the room filled with the sound of Melissa's own voice, mocking and condescending. "He's pathetic. I just need him to keep the house running a little longer before I'm done with him." Gasps rippled through the assembled guests as the reality of her betrayal sunk in. Melissa stood frozen, her eyes wide with disbelief and panic. "You recorded me," she exclaimed, but I simply smiled. "No, you recorded yourself. You were careless, just like with everything else." In that moment, the weight of her impending downfall settled heavily on her shoulders. Her social standing shattered, her affair exposed, and her financial security evaporated. For the first time in years, I saw genuine fear in her eyes, a stark contrast to the confidence she had exuded moments before. In the days that followed, the fallout was swift and brutal. Melissa had little to say, and within a week, she signed the divorce papers, her spirit broken. Mark, too, lost everything, his wife, his job, and the respect of those who once esteemed him. As for me, I walked away unscathed, emerging stronger and more resolute than ever. The man she had once derided as a loser had outplayed her at her own game, and that victory tasted sweeter than I could have imagined. It became clear that some people construct their lives by tearing others down, but in the end, they often forget a crucial reality. When you spend your life playing games, someone is always watching, and sometimes that someone is determined to win.